The Dead Sea Scrolls consist of roughly 900 documents, including texts from the Hebrew Bible. They were discovered between 1947 and 1956 in 11 caves located on the northwest shore of the Dead Sea.
The texts are of great religious and historical significance, as they include some of the only known surviving copies of biblical documents written before 100 BCE and preserve evidence of considerable diversity of belief and practice.
The Dead Sea Scrolls eliminate the notion of Bible literalism.
Let me explain. The book of Genesis we have Dead Sea Scrolls of 20 different versions of that, and they're all different.
An incidental example in Samuel is when David slew Goliath with a sling. Goliath, the giant, was 6 cubits, 1 span tall. The Hebrew cubit is about 18 inches. The span about 6 inches. That makes Goliath 9 feet, 6 inches tall. One of the Genesis translations has Goliath 4 cubits, 1 span in height. That would make him 6 foot, 6 inches.
And to the average Jew of about 5 foot 3 or 4 in those days, this was indeed a giant, which is absolutely unimportant until you get to literacy. Which version was true? Was he 9 feet or was he 6 feet?
Yeah, we knew already that there had to be different manuscript traditions in the Old Testament based on different sources used, like the Samaritan Pentateuch had different readings than either the Septuagint or the Masoretic text, which is the medieval one, and who knows where they branched off, but apparently there was some editing done early on that changed some readings, and they're passed down in these 3 great streams. All of them attested again in the Dead Sea Scrolls. They have features of all 3 of them, the Samaritan, the Septuagint, and the Masoretic.
What the Dead Sea Scrolls have done is to show us the diversity. There was no one view of almost anything. Messiah, or the law, the canon. There were just different groups, just like there are today. And if you look at the world today, you have 25,000 different Christian groups.
They don't seem to accept that in the earlier days, when all the Old Testament books were composed, there was heavy editing and rewriting and interpolating.
The text of the Bible was not fixed, even at that time. So in other words, the fact that you had so many different textual variants means that the text of the Bible was fluid. All the words were not the same for all groups and throughout history. So the Bible you have today is quite different from, say, certain versions of the Bible that were around are represented in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Jeremiah, probably there was a version that was 1/8 shorter than what we have. It's also represented in the Greek scriptures. But the Dead Sea Scrolls only confirm the diversity of textual traditions that were available. And what modern Christians have done is pick one of those traditions and privileged it. But it doesn't mean it had to be the one.
Some of them are dramatically different. So if somebody says today that my canonized Bible, I believe everything in there that is literally true, I wonder which of those variations they're talking about. And do they know? Of course not.
In the book of Exodus, there are a dozen different translations with different versions of the story.
So the idea that everything in the canonized Bible is divinely inspired can't be true. It cannot be true.
The Bible is full of conflicts, such as doublets.
Let's talk about doublets. A doublet is 2 versions of the same event whereby one could be right, and if it is, the other one has to be wrong, and vice versa. The Bible is full of these things.